Hi guys, my name is Afari Sherry. I'm a food artist and a mirror mosaic artist. I am also a writer. I have a blog, Urban Melanin Rising from the Dawn. I suffered depression the whole of last year, though after being clinically diagnosed for it, it was found out that it was something that I was suffering from a long time, but I wasn't aware of it. So anyway, guys, I am here. I've conquered depression, and I feel like I should share my story, and I should shout about this, and I should talk about it, and I should cover as many areas that affected me during my depression as I can, so that I can reach out to anybody who's suffering in silence, because I was one person who was suffering in silence for a long time. And one of the things that made me reach out for help and start fighting this thing was social media, guys. And that's one thing that proved to me that in as much as people go complaining that social media is bringing a lot of negative influence, it's also something that has really empowered me. And I'm a mother of two, by the way. My daughter's birthday is today. She turns 12. Happy birthday, Leila. It's been a long journey with this girl. This girl had to see me go through my experience, and sometimes it was tough for her. We sat down and I made amends, and my daughter and me, we are now best friends. And that's another thing, depression, just one of the things that we need to cover, its effects on children and how to handle it, and how to deal with it. For me, I sat my daughters down and I explained to them about life, and sometimes how we humans can be, not humans, I'm so fond of saying humans, we grown-ups can sometimes be unable to manage things, but it doesn't mean that it is the end of the world. Basically, my daughters also walked me through my journey in depression. When I was depressed, guys, you can go see my previous videos, because my YouTube channel, I started it as what's this word? It's my history, it's my record of my depression journey. I keep referring back to my earlier videos because so that I can see and compare where I was and where I am now. And I'm glad I took videos when I was going through that, because I get to also share with you my experience, so that you can see solid evidence of how you can just... I recorded every feeling that I was going through. And I guess me being open about my feelings and also recording them and having to revisit them and see them made me see step by step how I was improving in my healing. And that includes working out. I was working out, my body was painful compared to now, but right now, looking back, it was worth it. I was reading a lot, I was walking a lot. So guys, when you go back to my earlier videos, you will see me doing that, and you will understand that this is something we can just deal with. I guess you can even see the difference in in the way I look now and before. Go look for my video when I was working out in I'm so skinny. I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at how drained I am, and now, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience to conquer depression. It's a beautiful experience to heal, to be awake, to be alive. Guys, we can beat this. We can beat depression. I'm getting like this emotionally because I want to touch on depression. Man, this is a sensitive topic to me, because I've witnessed how it can eat away a man slowly to nothing. So I guess this is the part where I share my story of my healing and treatment. Guys, when I was depressed, I was unable to do anything. I guess I've touched on that in my previous video. I stopped going to work, and I withdrew and I just went into myself. And anyway, guys, last year April, I gathered up enough courage. I prayed over it, and I was so convinced that my work was also the reason why I was scared of my work. I was scared of the job. I was scared of going to work because I was scared of facing any challenge or any negativity that was thrown at me. I could not manage anything. I was unable to perform. So my solution was resigning from the job, because I was convinced, guys, depression is a mental illness. When you're depressed, you're in your mind and negative thoughts overpower you. You just think everything is against you, and you're afraid. You're just in constant fear. Anyway, guys, I went to work and I wanted to resign because I felt I could not be around people and I could not function around people. When I spoke to my boss, I thank God, because at a time when you're about to give up is when God works on you through people. God worked on me through this man. He's a person who's experienced life and has had to see also. And he gave me a chance. He listened to me, and I remember in my previous videos I used to scream and I would talk and I would make videos and I would, because I was trying to just be heard. I was screaming out for help. And that day, God worked on me. So I don't know what happened, from a girl who was going to resign to a girl who went and admitted and broke down in front of him. And I told him that I was unable to perform. I was unable to do anything. I could wake up early in the morning, that's okay. But actually going to work and performing that was just, even the thought of being in that office for more than an hour was a nightmare for me, because I was just feeling people were watching me. I felt suffocated, and I felt that is an environment I didn't want to be in. So anyway, fast forward, he counseled me, because he's somebody who's in HR and has had to see people go through difficult experience. So he listened to me, and he understood that this is somebody who was not being rebellious, but rather was not understood where she was coming from. And he gave me a chance to express myself. And after doing that, guys, after offloading, I felt so free. I've never felt that free. And that is when I requested him. I requested the office, or rather, to find me a place where I could get professional help. And I admitted to being depressed. I'm not a professional to diagnose myself, but the science and reading and the research I was doing, and through other people's experience and stories that I had heard from social media, I knew I was depressed, and it was the hardest thing, admitting that I was. Guys, depression is real. So anyway, this story gets me emotional because it's something that forced me to go within myself and be real with myself. I went to... There's a fly here. Okay, really fly. Really? Come on. This is serious. Anyway, guys, I don't know your fly made me happy. It's just making noise here. I can't do anything. Anyway, guys, that's what they did. The office sourced out a place where I could seek professional help, and the place, going to the place, there's something I didn't know. I didn't know that it was a selfish program that required you to detach yourself completely from the world for 90 days and work on yourself. And another thing that came to my shock is that it was a rehabilitation center. So there's a stigma around rehabs, and I didn't want to. I was also experiencing that. I felt that the world would judge me, and anyway, I found myself there, and I found out all that while I was there, which taught me a very huge lesson about perception, attitude, and because once I was in there, it was heaven. I found this serene environment. The place is called Jogs. It's in Limuru. Funny is that we were a family there. There were so many people suffering from different things. We had drug addicts, we had schizophrenics, we had bipolar, and then I was the only person who was suffering from depression. And being in that environment opened my eyes to so many things. Guys, break the stigma around rehabilitation center. It's because those places are like a place, they are places for restoration. You are forced to sit by yourself, you detach from the world. No phone calls, nothing, no internet, nothing, just nature, animals, and counseling sessions. And that is where I acquired my life skills, because for those 3 months, I found myself for once in my life. I found silence for once in my life. I knew how it felt to be selfish and love yourself. I remember the first week I went there and I was crying because I was missing my kids, and I was trying to explain to my counselor, like, you don't understand. I was worried because, you know, when you're out here, you're normally just crowded with worry, anxiety, and negative emotions. And do you know what my counselor told me? He told me, Farida, okay, that's my name, that's my other name. Told me, Farida, those kids of yours have their God. And your God has brought you here to find yourself. That is how much He loves you. So mute the world. Be selfish. And that is where I found those, I got those skills, life skills that I keep talking about making your, getting a journal and doing a list of the things that you love and having a gratitude list, because being there, guys, I saw so much that taught me what gratitude is. I witnessed 3 suicide attempts that slapped me to the reality of mental health. I was going through financial difficulties at that moment, and I was playing victim, knowing that the world is not fair to me, until I met people who had financial stability but did not have the mental stability to enjoy the values. You've never seen, you should see bipolar in action, real bipolar. People are suffering mentally, guys, it's not a joke. And I went there and I had to listen. I listened to so many stories. And I saw even teenagers in rehabs, guys, 1920, really. Parents having sleepless nights, parents resulting to discarding, because that's what I perceived it to be, their children, because they're unable to manage them because of drug abuse. And I got to share with some of these, I call them kids. Okay, very serious. Sometimes some think so, but anyway, to me, I find them. I shared with these teenagers, let me call them teenagers, and others came to realize that they are going through their own experiences. And there I also met men of different ages, many suffering from alcohol abuse, brought by their wives and their parents and their children, and most men who confess to me. And guys, that's why I want to really, I hope I get through to you with this one. Depression in men is really, because most of the men that were in there for alcohol abuse, and alcohol is deadly, guys. It's I don't have the word to explain it, but it steals life from men. It breaks families, and most of these people, after being sober, opened up to me, and I realized it just dated back to deadbeat fathers, broken homes. Men are suffering, men are suffering, men are suffering, men are suffering. Depression kills the beauty in everything, and it has killed the beauty. It's killing the beauty in our men. Our men are suffering in silence because of what society seems to impose on us, on men. Speak out. When I talk about depression in men, sorry guys, I get so, it touches me deeply because I have witnessed it. I have witnessed what it can do. It breaks a man down. Men, forget about manning up. Talk. I'm here. Red Talk is here. Express yourself, offload. You're emotional beings. That makes you human beings. And the only way you can stand up on your feet is by admitting when things are tough. And let's admit it, guys, the economy is so unmanly right now. Let's look, women, we're not even making it easy for them because they are going through a lot out here, hustling. It's crazy. The economy is not favoring men at all. And they're having to come back home to us and our nagging and complaining. Let's appreciate these men. They're going through a lot. Let's understand their history. Let's make them a good meal. Let's understand the human beings, unique human beings. Our men are our gold, and depression is stealing it from us. Women, let's wake up. Let's treat our men right. Let's listen to our men. Let's listen to our men. Our men deserve to be heard. Our men deserve to be heard. Let's break down the invisible barriers to opening up. Let's break these invisible barriers that society has imposed that is making our men unable to perform because they are unable to open up and admit sometimes that it's hard on them. Let's open this safe haven where they can offload. I believe if we do that, that's it. That's just some small things that we're going to, that are going to help us kill this thing. So anyway, guys, today is World Mental Health Day, and for you guys who are suffering in silence, men, please talk, please talk. And I'm so open to any talk, red corner, the red talk. You can just talk to me if you feel that you're not being understood. Depression is real and it's killing our people slowly, especially our men. Suicide in men, this is something that was not common, and now it's anyway. Depression is real. Men, talk. Some of us women here, we are ready to listen. Do not stereotype. We've gone through it, we experienced it with our brothers, and we experienced it with our friends, colleagues, and we have seen. Men, start support system groups and meet and talk about your issues and offload. Same way you meet Friday evenings for a drink or two. Now work on yourself. Love yourself enough to now do something positive. Meet up, but for positive reasons. Offload. Break that. You boy, what? No, just talk. Everybody's suffering. Everybody's going through something. So anyway, guys, thank you so much I'm glad I've offloaded. At least I feel so light. I'll sleep so well, and I hope you do too. Engage, throw in your comments. Let's talk about this. Let's make noise about this. Let's save our people. Thank you guys. Subscribe, press that bell so that you can get notifications when I post another video. And guys, engage. Let's talk. Let's talk. Depression is real, but we're killing it. We're definitely killing it. Thank you, and have a good evening.